13, and 5 assists, including a 50-piece in the Game 6 closeout. This summer, the Lakers tried to load up by adding Russell Westbrook to the roster, hoping to return to the top of the Western Conference. So far, well, let's just say it's been a mixed bag. The bigger news was a player who didn't appear for his team this season. Kyrie Irving opted against getting the COVID vaccine. New York's protocols bar him from playing in home games, and Nets management decided not to allow him to play in road games only, though that story got a recent update, so stay tuned. And finally, the season very few saw coming. The Warriors, with Klay Thompson still recovering from an Achilles tear, blazing out to the best record in the league, an early season surprise punctuated by Steph Curry breaking Ray Allen's all-time three-point record. Those are just a few of the biggest stories of the year, so let me bring in Shanae Agumike. Shanae, what do you think was the biggest NBA story of 2021?
The biggest NBA story of 2021 was the rise of Giannis Antetokounmpo. Ugo Antetokounmpo. And it was a beautiful story. You think about it, a young man of Nigerian heritage by way of Greece falls in love with the game and takes it over, gets drafted 15th to Milwaukee. And what does he become? A most improved player, a defensive all-teamer. He's just tremendous with his talent, and you mentioned it, a 50-piece and a game-clinching, NBA Finals-clinching performance that brought a championship to Milwaukee. Mind you, he's a two-time MVP already, and I think he just turned 27. Yeah. And so it seems like we are entering the Giannis Antetokounmpo era of the NBA based on how dominant he has been, and it started with this year.
Yeah, just because, listen, he's always been among the most likable superstars, but these guys, they got to write their own scripts. You know, when he's getting bounced from the playoffs, you felt good about him, but it wasn't a feel-good story yet, not like this. Shanae, looking ahead, what do you expect to be the biggest story of the coming year, of 2022?
Well, talking about, people's dreams come true by staying loyal, we've also been in the era of super teams as of late, and the Big Three era as well, and Brooklyn is no better example of that. You have Kevin Durant leaving the Warriors dynasty to sort of create his own legacy in Brooklyn. You have Kyrie Irving of fame from Cleveland and LeBron James and that amazing championship run now joining him as point guard. And then, I'm from Houston, James Harden, who becomes a league MVP. They all choose to come to one destination to sort of set the table. Initially, we saw the best offensive team and performances from Brooklyn, but then adversity hit in a way that we never foresaw, especially dealing with Kyrie, whether he'd be active or not. KD dealing with, his injuries, but being dominant and currently leading the league in scoring, and James Harden having to reinvent himself. In the era of Big Threes, this is probably the most fascinating, both on and off the court. So following that story for the year to come will be very interesting.
Shanae, I totally agree. You know what kills me? Like in astronomy, there's
What?
something called a naked singularity. That's a black hole, right? You can't ever really look into it because there's almost a kind of cosmic censorship. The laws of physics break down and the universe just won't let you see it. That's what I feel about this Nets offense. There's like cosmic censorship going on because it would break the space-time continuum. I gotta see this team healthy. Shanae, this should be the greatest offense in the history of sports.
You know what, Max? I always pride myself or Mina Kimes as being the biggest nerds on the network. I think you took it right there. You took it right there.
The cosmic censorship. I think it's going on. I want to see into that offense. Shanae, it is always great to talk to you. And one thing we do know about 2022, happy holidays to you. Merry Christmas. We're going to be seeing a lot.
The Lakers enter Christmas a game under 500, and that's not good news for them, as no eventual title winner has been under 500 on the holiday in NBA history, aside from last season when the Bucks were 0-1. As we just saw, if history has anything to do with it, the Lakers' title hopes are slim, to say the least. But we welcome back senior writer Zach Lowe. What up, Zach? And NBA champion Kendrick Perkins. What up, Big Perk, to the show? Now, I want to know, all right, guys, I want to know what one word best describes the Lakers right now. And Chanae, you're actually the analyst on the Nets-Lakers game on ESPN Radio tomorrow. First of all, let me give you some love.
Thanks, sis. And she's going to be right before me, so yeah.
On Suns Warriors. Hey, let's do it. All right, sis. So let me get that one word to describe the Lakers right now. Start with you.
Merry Christmas, everybody. Merry Christmas Eve. My one word, unfortunately, and it's normal for everyone this time of year, is cold. Meaning, yes, they have really cooled off their games overall, dropping a number of games under 500. And if you look at how they lost yesterday, my goodness. I mean, LeBron goes for 36, Russ goes for 30, and you still lose. The Spurs hit 13, I believe, more threes than the Lakers. And on top of it, the Spurs bench outscored the Lakers 69-20. Now, mind you, they're playing without AD. Mind you, they're playing without 5 total players overall. They're trying to just stay afloat. But I say cool/cold because you're afraid that this season might be frozen. Right? Like for the Lakers overall. Like, do you think that they have the capabilities of making the finals? Everyone's now cooled off of the Lakers. Now, they do have potential to heat up if they get healthy, but right now, everyone's cold this holiday.
You know what? I call it pathetic. And let me tell you why. Not just because of their performance. I know, but not just because of their performance on the floor, but the excuses after their performance on the floor. Like everyone right now in the NBA is going through COVID protocols, not having players, superstars being out, things to that nature. And I'm watching other teams not make excuses and weather the storm, and the Lakers keep hanging their hat on chemistry and this, that, and the other. And chemistry is necessary, but when you're getting beat by 28 by a young San Antonio Spurs team, that is a problem. When you're not getting back on defense after a made basket and the team is scoring on you, that is a problem. When you're getting picked on in a pick and roll every single time down the floor, that is a problem. And so when I hear the Lakers, when I hear Braun, when I hear AD, when I hear all these guys come to the interview and say, oh, we haven't been healthy, neither have the Brooklyn Nets when KD had to take over, or the Atlanta Hawks last night when they beat the Philadelphia 76ers. So that's why it's pathetic to me, because of all the excuses.
Well, I was gonna go with cryptastic, but that's not really a word, so I'm gonna go with gross. Just absolutely gross. To give up 138 at home to a Spurs team that's been frisky lately, playing pretty well, I'll give them that. 138 at home. The Lakers just cannot put it together for any more than what seems like a half. When their offense plays well, their defense stinks. When they defend well, their offense stinks. We're running out of time. Look, I'm kind of with Perk that every team is decimated right now, so I don't want to hear their excuses. But let me defend LeBron, though, for a second, because I do think the Lakers have an unusual lack of continuity. They have no lineup on their entire team has played more than 53 minutes together. No combination of 5 guys. That's the lowest figure for any team. Every team has like 2, 3, 4, 5 lineups that have played more than that. The Lakers' most used lineup all season has appeared in 7 games. The Lakers have played 33 games. So they have been hit by an unusual level of just can't get everyone together at the same time, can't even get their stars together at the same time. There's a better team in here somewhere, but we're just running out of time and running out of reasons for optimism at this point. They cannot put a good performance together for more than 2-3 games at a time.
No, Zach, because all this season they have had at least 2 of their superstars on the floor at the same time. So that's not an excuse. And when you look at what KD did, just think about this. Before COVID and he had to go into the protocol, they called up guys from the G League, and he ran off 3 straight games with guys that he never played with, really had no chemistry, and went out there and won games. So you telling me that the Lakers at all time could have Russell Westbrook or LeBron James, or LeBron James and Anthony Davis, or Anthony Davis and Russell Westbrook, and you're telling me we're going to talk about chemistry and that they should be a game under 500 right now? No, I'm not buying that.
All right, guys. Well, I might have a word for y'all and the Lakers right now. Maybe hope. Because let me bring some brightness to this. No, because the Lakers, they dropped under 500 last night, yet they would still be percentage points ahead of the final play-in spot if the season ended today. And that's because there are currently 10 West teams with a losing record entering Christmas for the first time ever, according to Elias. So, like a lump of coal.
A little bit of, yeah, they definitely need coal this year.
All right, next on NBA Today, make